There's been a lot of talk about the social media boxing matches that have gone on as of late, not the least of which is that of how the fights might not have lived up to the hype that they boasted. Hint, they didn't. And many feel that this is proof that the boxing industry might be dying a slow and painful death. Hint, it might just be. A great example of this was the Battle of the Platforms that was headlined by Austin McBroom and Bryce Hall. And the victor of that fight is apparently already ready to go for another bout. Allow us to show you how Austin McBroom calls out KSI to a boxing match. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. 7. Austin McBroom versus Bryce Hall. YouTuber Austin McBroom of the Ace family stopped TikTok's Bryce Hall in the third round of the main event of the Battle of the Platforms boxing card. What's more, he did it with a literal $1 million knockout in the third round of the main event. Bryce Hall and Austin McBroom each agreed to pay the other $1 million if they were on the receiving end of the knockout. Though, apparently Hall is disputing that as he claims he wasn't KO'd, though many would absolutely disagree with that claim. The final blow came after several knockdowns on the way to the eventual stoppage, and Bryce Hall did lose a point as the referee penalized him for an attempted takedown in round 2. But it didn't matter as Hall was seconds from getting to his stool between rounds, but unable to pass the referee's instructions. It capped a complete card of YouTube versus TikTok, with the final outcome 5-1 for YouTube with one draw, and even that fight looks like YouTube should have won, with Anderson Gibb clearly beating Taylor Holder despite the scoring. But that's another topic entirely. So yeah, a clear victory for McBroom despite what some, or Hall, would say. And naturally, there were a lot of reactions to this online, especially from those who really didn't like Bryce Hall. But what about the winner of the fight? 6. McBroom on winning. So what did the reigning champ have to say about his fight with Hall? Honestly, not as much as you'd think. He went on Instagram and noted, "I hope I put on a show for y'all." Well, there's no doubt that he did that, as he was able to go and win in a definitive fashion, or definitive enough, and he apparently pocketed $5 million from the bout. Apparently the $1 million knockout is being disputed, so that has to make him happy. But arguably the most important thing for him is that he vanquished his foe. He really didn't want to lose to Bryce Hall, and he didn't. So no matter what Hall says to him on social media, McBroom can point to the money he made and the victory that is in the books in his name and say, "Yeah, I beat you, deal with it." But now that he's dealt with Bryce, who is next on his list? Apparently, KSI. 5. The KSI Challenge. While KSI was celebrating his 28th birthday, McBroom reached out to the fellow YouTuber to wish him all the best, while challenging him to step up to the ring for his next fight. McBroom simply commented, "I'm ready when you are," while screenshotting a news snippet that stated that both men had agreed in a future bout. In his usual witty manner, KSI replied on his Instagram story by saying the fight would be an, quote, "easy warm-up," unquote, while playing down the challenge that McBroom offers. Both KSI and McBroom have a vast fan base, which has shocked many famous faces in the world of boxing simply by how many tickets ended up being sold for these events. It is likely that the fight will be a professional one, and whether the likes of Eddie Hearn will get themselves involved once more remains to be seen. It may seem odd to some that McBroom would be trying to line up his fight not too long after the Battle of the Platforms came to a close, but given the nature of this special boxing, you need to strike while the iron is hot. But the question is the iron hot at all? 4. Ratings results. Here's the deal. If you have a new idea for something, or a variation on something, you go and you try it out, right? And that's totally fine. But if you fail to make it land, or no one cares about it, then you're not going to get the chance to keep going. For Battle of the Platforms, this was honestly a first of its kind, and given that it's been a while since the fights, many have called out the event as a flop since no stats have been given. Austin McBroom shut down claims that the Battle of the Platforms, YouTubers versus TikTokers, amateur boxing event was a flop, insisting the real numbers will be released soon. But according to multiple sources, including participants Josh Richards and Vinny Hacker, they still have not been paid. After host Dave Portnoy said he'd heard that people were yet to receive their money, Josh claimed fighters didn't get paid, artists didn't get paid, no one got paid. From what I know, and I haven't got to actually talk to Bryce, I guess, yet. But since after the fight has happened, all the reports have said that no one's gotten paid. They've gotten their signing bonuses, which was probably like 100K, 50K, depending on the fighter. None of the other monies come through. Josh also went on to claim that he's 95% sure, quote unquote, that the company due to pay the fighters filed for bankruptcy 2 days prior, but his fellow hosts questioned why the news, if true, isn't getting more attention. He said the company in question might be Social Gloves, which has since appeared to be confirmed due to their Instagram stories' response to the allegations. Social Gloves, the company behind the event, insisted they're working tirelessly to verify finances and get everyone paid on time. However, the whole debacle has led many to believe the event was a flop and sold only 13,600 pay-per-view buys, much less than the expected 500,000. Oops. 3. Money issues. Austin, who's reportedly a partial owner of Social Gloves, posted a statement on Instagram claiming it was one of the biggest social media events in history, and the real numbers, which are being tallied by an accounting firm and first-class auditor, will come out soon. 100,000 PPV buys is cap. Only the haters want to believe that, he said. These people who are scamming are basically saying all of us fighters and our fan bases ain't bleep. We all know Social Gloves put on one of the biggest social media events in history, as all of you watched. The real numbers will come out soon. Just know Social Gloves weren't the ones who collected PPV numbers and purchases. The event is still making headlines weeks after it finished, only for the wrong reason. However, Austin is adamant that it was a resounding success and believes everyone involved will be rightfully paid in due time. Whether that actually happens or not remains to be seen. 2. Using smoke to cover up fire. So if there is something going on with the numbers and the pay for the event, why is McBroom trying to get another fight going? The easy answer might be that he did get his pay, and he was one of the few to get it. Him hyping up another fight gets people talking about it, and not the potential money issues that are plaguing the event that was. Plus, it might be that if people think the event was a success, then more will tune into the sequel, especially if he gets KSI on board. We'll have to wait and see on that front. 1. The future of boxing. The other question that this raises is that of whether this is the true future of boxing. Many would hope and pray that it's not, because to be frank, not a lot of people are amused by this trash of amateur boxing taking over the spotlight from those who have worked hard and trained to be real boxers. But if the money is real and the viewers are tuning in, then yeah, it's gonna continue. It's just a matter of who will headline the next main event. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the potential fight between Austin McBroom and KSI, as well as all the controversies and issues that McBroom is facing right now on various fronts? Do you think that this match will happen? Do you honestly want it to happen? Do events like these need to stop for boxing to honestly survive? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.